Good morning, good morning, good morning. I will do my best today not to go like woo because yesterday when I got home, I noticed the editing and it actually turned all around and sideways and stuff. So I couldn't use my video because I didn't want to make you all dizzy. Uh, Hello, my name is Adam Khan. This is my half-ass channel. Please use everything for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial planner, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not an accountant. Please reach out to your financial planner, your lawyer, or your accountant for any financial decisions you make. Well, welcome on my walk. I hope it's not too dizzying. I still want to talk about the housing market, and we can talk about my riveting trade too, but really the housing market is more interesting to me right now, mainly because I'm tired of seeing people scare everybody out of the market. Why would you not buy? Because the Fed's raising rates? Nah. Because of war in Ukraine? Because it's gotten more expensive over the past few years rather dramatically? And so on and so on and so on. And economic data. You know, we have credit card debt rising, savings dwindling, and all sorts of scary stuff. I agree. But my general comment is save, save, save. Put away for tomorrow, whether that's stocks, real estate, collectibles, whatever it is. So the rest of it is noise. And if you consistently put away, you'll do just fine. You know, my brother gave me a definition of rich, which I loved. He said, rich is spending less money than you make. I want you all to think about that for a second. Rich is spending less money than you make. Period. Because then you have security and comfort. Rich is more a feeling than a reality. There's plenty of people with a lot of money who go through a lot of money that feel just as stressed as somebody who doesn't have a lot of money. Maybe they have a lot of money, but I don't know that I'd call that rich. If you're bill to bill or month to month or even quarter to quarter on stress of your finances, I don't care if you make $10 an hour or $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year or $1 million, you're not rich and you're stretched too thin. So when buying a house, budget properly. And the rest of it's just noise and media and news. I don't agree that the new builders are screwed. I don't think they're even in a bad position. I think they learned a great lesson back in 2006, 7, 8, and 9. And they're not going to let that happen again. I mean, my God, that was only, I don't know, 12 years ago? We're not talking about the crash from the 20s that maybe they've lost sight of and don't prepare for. And yeah, if we had some Great Depression, then everybody would be in trouble. But not specifically new home builders. Like, they didn't overbuild and they don't have too much inventory. Prices went up, so their margins are better. And quite frankly, the cost of goods that went up so dramatically have come down pretty dramatically. So lumber, for example, I haven't looked. I don't pay attention to the lumber market. But I did notice when it went to $1,500 or whatever it was per bundle. I don't even know what a bundle is, what the contract size is, or anything else. But if I remember correctly, it shot from like 400 to almost 1,600 in a matter of weeks. My guess is it's come back down pretty dramatically. Uh, Again, I haven't looked, and if I'm correct, it's probably 5, 6, 700. But I don't know. Not, I don't pay attention to the lumber market. But their supplies have come down and people have gotten used to the higher prices. And now that rates have pushed the sevens, even if the Fed had to pivot, which I don't really see happening because the demand is still there, and as long as the demand is still there, that's actually good. But let's pretend they did. They're not going back to 3 or 2%. I mean, maybe they have to cut it to where it gets into the low sixes or high fives, but there's no big dramatic, the world is ending, unless the news makes that, you know? Go look outside. Everything looks okay. I mean, watch, I'll turn the camera around. Look at all the cars. Look at everything going on. Like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be people will stretch further. Maybe they can't quite buy as much. But I don't really see the 1920s coming. And based on history, that's not really the bet I'd want to make either. It doesn't happen very often that you have a Great Depression. So the better bet is consistently betting against that and just hoping it doesn't come and living your life. If you got a job, go to work, get your paycheck, save some of it, put the rest away. If you're paying $2,500 a month in rent, why wouldn't you put that to a mortgage? Now, if you don't have the savings, you don't have the down payment, and you're not properly prepared, well, yeah, don't buy. But if you saved up 5, 10, 20%, and you have a cushion in case a few months are slow, or there's a air conditioner that breaks, or the roof needs a repair, or whatever that might happen, please don't not buy because people on YouTube are scaring you that the market's going to collapse. It's really silly. And God forbid they're wrong and houses drift higher over the next 20 years and you are waiting for that big collapse to come that never comes and you end up renting for the rest of your life and not passing a house down to your kids and your family and having the equity if you needed it at retirement. So let's pretend you're 35 years old and you get tricked by your realtor to buy in this market and the market goes down. And you've done what I've said. You have some savings, you can afford the payments, and you continue with your life. Maybe you buy a home, let's call it 500,000. Well, you make your payments for the next 30 years, and that house dropped to 400,000. You have $400,000 of equity. I understand it didn't perform the way you hoped, but it would be no different than buying a stock that drifted lower over the next 10, 20, 30 years. And those are just financial decisions. And in the meantime, you would have been paying rent in somebody else's home. I don't really see the value of paying their rent when you could have paid your mortgage and built up that equity. And if somebody wants to give a sales pitch of, yeah, but if they spent less in rent and saved $300 a month or whatever it is, that's great sales pitch, but I find that's not what people typically do. So owning a house pushes people to really have to save because if they pay their mortgage, it automatically goes into the equity. So it is what it is. Do me a favor. Save, save, save. Buy stocks, buy bonds, buy real estate, buy collectibles, buy anything you think is going up. My God, my wife likes purses, right? Purses have become collectible. I try to tell her, learn about the ones that are collectible. We can buy one, put it in the closet. The thing is, she likes to use them and doesn't really want to do that. But I think it's something you know and you love, and all this stuff is an investment. So give me a like, subscribe, give me a dislike. I love to argue, so if you disagree, by all means, put it in the comment. We'll go back and forth. And if you give me good information, I think you'd be surprised how reasonable I am to agree. So have a great day.